Welcome back to the Common Sense Podcast, where common minds come together because
common sense ain't that common.
Welcome back, you guys. And today is another special episode. We're going back into my favorite theme, personally, anime today. And by the title, you could probably already see what it's going to be about. Jujutsu Kaisen fans, if you can't handle it, leave right now.
Right. And new fans that are just here because Meg the Stallion likes them. You know, be careful. Because we're going to tell the truth. That's what we're going to get from common sense. Goodness. You know, common sense, not everybody has it. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to tell the truth about it today.
And with that being said, y'all, let's hop right into the episode.
All right, so I know you're the anime expert. That's what they say in the streets a lot. All right,
that's what they say.
So when you think of Jujutsu Kaisen, it's heavily awarded. It seems like everyone likes it. So when you think about the anime itself, what are some of the things that kind of point out to you?
Okay, I would say, first off, the best part about the whole series of Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely Jujutsu Kaisen 0 with the story of the movie with Yuta. Personally, I would have loved for him to be the main character, but that's just my opinion. We'll get to that. And the beginning of season 2, where they show you the relationship between Gito and Gojo, and basically showing you when they were younger, that was definitely my favorite part of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think that the power system has the potential to definitely be one of the best power systems. But we'll get into all of that. I enjoy the fight scenes, even though
great animation.
It's great animation. It's great animation. So I would definitely say that.
So I think it's honestly, obviously, it's really cool to look at. I think as far as coming from a Bleach background, because Bleach is my favorite anime, you kind of already see some of the tropes from Bleach kind of being used, which you see in a lot of different animes. But even with the just the sorcerers, how they act, some of the cursed spirits, you know, they definitely have remnants of Bleach, which is pretty cool to see how they've trying to put that in there. And they kind of really paint the cursed spirits as being really evil. Like, as you can see, like, I think it was like the mother being killed, having like her body cut off, a lot of things like that. So I think as far as painting them to be the villains, I feel like they do that really well. And of course the animation looks pretty good. But it can't all be good with the but. I know this is highly awarded anime. So what are some of the things wrong with Jujutsu Kaisen?
Oh, where do I start? Well, first we can start with characters, right? Because to me, characters has to obviously be one of the most important things.
Right.
I feel like most of Jujutsu Kaisen characters either lack depth. There really is no depth there. And when we have the chance to explore that character and to learn more about them, it just falls flat simply because, you know, we're learning about them in a fight. Right. And I think that's the problem. We should not be learning about a character in the middle of a fight, because you're basically telling the story as we go along. Like, it's no like structure to it.
And I find it problematic that you kind of just find ways to just throw fights here, because it takes away the importance of the fight itself.
Right.
Like, some of the most iconic anime fights are from the build up of waiting to see it happen. Like, I know everyone's watching Demon Slayer. We can't wait till Muzan actually fights Tanjiro, because we've been waiting. If it was Jujutsu Kaisen, they probably would have fought in the 3rd episode. So like, I'm just like, it kind of take away the build up, and they kind of just, we're just gonna show you animation that's so good that you'll probably forget about the story. It's almost like a modern day Dragon Ball Z. And I mean, that's exactly what it is, you know, without, again, some of the depth. And that's why they try to find themselves their way out with the fights.
But you could even say that Dragon Ball Z does a better job at exploring some of its characters before we get into fights. For example, we have Shikamaru in Naruto. The whole subplot with him and Asuma Sensei and him fighting against Hidan.
Yeah.
That was a peak moment for me, because, and it had nothing to do with Naruto. simply because we had background information about his relationship with Asuma Sensei. And then when we get the moment where he's playing a game with his dad, shogi game with his dad, like that moment means so, one of the best moments to me. And it had nothing to do with the main character. And obviously it was a very small moment in the landscape of Naruto Shippuden, but it was one of the best moments because it had some depth to it. It had some story to it. And again, y'all, I have to say, I'm a story head. So if you're a person that can just watch animes for fights, I'm happy for you. Right. I cannot do that.
Right, and I'm glad you said the word main character, because oh my god. I don't see how anybody could be a fan of Itadori. He is the most unrelatable main character I have ever seen. First of all, he's already great at everything. I don't know if you remember in the first 2 episodes, didn't he jump through like a 5-story building, which was kind of
3-story building.
Yeah, like
he was
who is he, LeBron James? They have the whole thing with his grandpa dying that really isn't explained at all, and it's just like, well, what are we going off of? What are we rooting for? And I feel like the only reason he's a significant point to the plot is because Sukuna is inside of him. He swallowed the finger. Mm-hmm. But besides that, I mean, he's the most side main character I've ever seen. But even like, why would anyone care for Itadori? Is the thing.
I don't like the idea that we just should assume something. I gave up watching Jujutsu Kaisen because I couldn't get into it at first. Like, it was cool watching the fights and the build up or whatever, but after that it was just kind of like
she held me hostage to make this video, y'all, for me to watch it, because let me tell you, I was watching Bleach and I was feeling good, and I was watching a couple episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen and literally couldn't get through it just because.
Yeah, you couldn't. But I said, if we're gonna talk about this on the pod, we gotta watch it. So I gave up Jujutsu Kaisen and I came back because my friends told me, Didi,
you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. You gotta give it a chance. I'm like, okay. And specifically that says season 2, which I can understand.
Because the start was really good. The movie until the start was really good. Right.
The movie, the start, beautiful. However, there's a lot of things that my friends basically told me. We're just gonna assume that Itadori is just this prodigy, and I don't understand that.
But he doesn't even show signs of being the prodigy. It's just like he's just there. It was like, even in season 2 with him, with the whole Shibuya incident, it was just like he's there, but he's not really making an impact. Which, like, when is Gojo gonna get saved? That's what everybody's worried about. How are you the main character and no one even worried about you? He has no presence. There's no emotion with him. I mean, even with, with as many people dying, especially Nanami, you would think, oh man, he's gonna flip the switch. He to me, he still never flips the switch.
And I will say, he did have emotion.
He did, but
there was no payoff. Like, in my opinion, you kill all of these people and there's no payoff. Nanami is supposed to be the quote unquote teacher or mentor to Itadori, and Nobara is one of his closest friends in the series, right? And he isn't the one to kill Mahito.
Like, for real,
he just get absorbed.
She got bumped in the subway, and she gone. And he over here pouting. If it wasn't for Toto, he would have lost the fade there too.
Right.
So I just think every character, I think notable main character has had their turning point moment. Mm-hmm. And Itadori, it feels like the Shibuya incident was supposed to be his, and they're claiming it to be. But there never was a point where he, in my opinion, really grew from that. They tried to really paint that picture, but he didn't have the moment where Naruto came into the pain arc. He didn't have a moment like that. He didn't have a moment where Ichigo came to the Soul Society to fight Byakuya by himself. He hasn't had those signature moments to be like, okay, I'm gonna root for him. He hasn't had a Midoriya moment. He hasn't had anything, but they claim they put this anime so high and put Itadori so high, but he hasn't done anything.
The reason why the characters are the most important thing is simply because you tell a story through your characters.
Right.
An author tells their message on whatever they want to get to the audience through their characters. How can you hope to get a theme through to us when we get attached to a certain character, or we learn these characters, and then when you try to get that message across, you just sever that by killing them off? And don't get me wrong, I get the whole premise, living in the world of Jujutsu sorcery is hard. I get that. But why should I care about the message you're trying to convey if you don't care about the message you're trying to convey?
And I mean, if you want to go there, living in every shonen anime will probably be hard if you're just a regular person. Like if you want to go there. But I think the most disappointing thing is there are good characters in this show. There are good characters in this show. And they get killed off really fast. Either that or they just have no depth to them at all. Like, I feel like I know more about Gojo than I know about Itadori. And it's just, I feel like that's problematic. I would have loved for Toji to be alive a little bit more because he was an interesting character. He was the first time Gojo finally got touched by somebody. And then it's just like the rules while he was alive, it's all over the place. There's really no world building at all in this anime. Like, what is Jujutsu High? What is that? Like, I'm gonna be asking a real question. Think about this time. We've only seen students in the classroom, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, 3.
Where are the rest of the students? Who's attending this? I understand this is a private school. Who's attending this school? Why are there? And then why is there only one student that's good? What is everybody else doing?
We hear so many stories about executions. We hear stories about the 3 clans. I think it's 3.
I think it's 3. I'm not sure.
I think it's 3. 3 clans.
They'll come up with another one. I'm sure the next.
We hear a story about the big clans. We hear a story about I think it's the Heian period or the Heian period, however you pronounce it. And we get no background information. Okay, we hear about all of these clans. Why don't we learn more about Gojo's clan? Why do we know nothing about Gojo's clan? Also, we don't know about the higher ups, the organizations that are basically have power over the Jujutsu sorcerers. We see that go back and forth with Gojo all the time, but we don't have any depth on that at all.
You're like, where are they? You know what I'm saying? Forgotten like the meat and potatoes to make the anime work itself.
Right.
And I think that continually is the problem over and over again. And then once their way to just foster you out of it is to show you something really cool animation wise, and it's just like, well, you know what I'm saying? Gojo's gonna Gojo. There's no real training arcs and there's no real emotional tie to any characters. Like, it feels like the deaths, they hurt because we wanted to know more about the characters, but it wasn't like we were feeling emotional because we were attached to the characters, if that makes more sense. It's just like we were waiting to really see them build together, but we really never saw that.
Right. And there was a quote that Akatami said, it doesn't matter if we take away characters you don't care about, if we kill characters you don't care about.
Right.
It only hurts, obviously, and it matters most if we take away characters you care about. But that's not the point. The point is that you took away characters we cared about, yes, but you took away characters before we even got to learn for real about who they are, even the connection between the characters.
The point is, Jujutsu Kaisen overrated or is it overhated? Is it because I feel like there is an audience for it. There's an audience for it, but at the same time, I feel like when you start saying, oh, it's the best of the new gen and it's world breaking, I start to pause a little bit because it's like I really don't feel that way. I feel like Demon Slayer is miles ahead of this, and Demon Slayer has a much simpler plot than Jujutsu Kaisen. But sometimes you don't need the most complex plot to get things going. The Jujutsu Kaisen should be more simple, in my opinion, since there's less character building. But even in a story where a kid is trying to get his sister turned back to a human because she's a demon, that's all Demon Slayer is. But they have story building points. You care about other characters because they built the story better. And I feel like they really didn't do that with Jujutsu Kaisen.
And I will say this. Jujutsu Kaisen is not a bad anime.
Right.
There was a reason why I kept coming back to watch it.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I will say, if we're comparing it to the other specifically new gen anime, it's definitely the last of the new gen in my opinion. I can't definitively say or confidently say that Jujutsu Kaisen is better than My Hero or Demon Slayer. And I think one of the biggest reasons why it's as popular as it is because Jujutsu Kaisen did come out, like, I believe it came out around the pandemic, like either like a little bit before or like right in the middle. I can't remember when it was released, but I will say, like, I think that has a part of it. Everybody's in the house, ain't nobody got nothing to watch. I think that could be a part of it. I also believe that a bit of the fandom comes from the characters looking good. I'm just gonna be honest, like, and the fight scenes. And there's nothing wrong with that. different animes do different things.
Right.
But I would say it's definitely overrated.
If you could rate it out of 10, what would you rate it then?
I'd probably give it 6, 7.
I would give it a 6.5.
6, 7.
And you might think that's harsh, but it's just I think it's maybe because of the animes that I tend to like more. Like, it's one thing to fight scenes, because everybody's gonna be like, well, Dragon Ball Z started all the fight scenes and everyone loves Dragon Ball Z. But as I feel like as you watch more and more anime, you kind of get numb to all the fight. It's almost like rap. If you listen to the same type of rappers, just sooner or later you're gonna get tired of seeing the same thing. It's the same format over and over, because it's shonen, right? We know what's gonna happen.
Right.
We know the tropes of it. Character, something bad happens to him, he goes on a journey, he finds it.
Right.
It's the same trope.
Self-discovery.
Right. But
Yeah.
it's like at one point can you throw something different? Can you throw a twist in there? Can you throw something? Like, on the outside okay, let me break it down. Jujutsu Kaisen it's like your favorite bad B when you in high school, okay? All right. So like, it's like, all right, you know, on the outside this girl looks great, right? Great. You text her, she's like nothing on the inside. What you doing? None. And you in. That's what it's like watching Jujutsu Kaisen, because you know you're gonna get a cool fight. It look cool to be a part of it, but when you really in it, you like, this ain't about nothing. like that's exactly how I feel watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I just don't understand.
But I don't even think the author necessarily knows what direction he wants to take the
Yeah, it's just like we just throwing stuff at the wall. Oh, so he finna die today? Bet, let's roll it.
But it's the story is being explained to us as it's happening. Like, it's been
like
times,
they trying to figure it out too.
right? It's been times in the middle of a fight where we're being explained what's going on because there was no prior context.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
What would you do to try to like fix the madness they have right now?
Well, Itadori does not need to be the main character.
Maybe you should kill Itadori.
I mean, I don't know where they would take that after. I mean, I would.
The story barely about him anyway.
I mean, I would assume that Itadori, soon enough, Itadori is just going to be the strongest by default, just by everybody dying. Not because he earned it, not because it's like, okay, you've built yourself
like,
up to this
Gojo's
point.
gonna sacrifice himself somehow.
Right, it's literally going to be by default. But I would say, to me, I mean, they should have just went with the concept of the beginning of season 2. I love the beginning of season 2.
Like
that is my favorite part. Or even,
I was tuned in for that.
Yeah, I love the beginning of season 2. With the way that the author is taking things, I would not be surprised if something crazy happens, like Gojo dying or Sukuna dying, and then after that it's going to be like, where you going to take it after that?
I mean, they're going to have a guessing game. But to round it off to you guys, man, we definitely think it's overrated. Tell us what you think, though, because we want to look. We give you our opinions. We can take the opinions back. If you think the way we're thinking about it isn't right, or it just doesn't make sense, let us know. We are down to hear the reasons, because all the reasons people have given me for watching this show, they don't make any sense. I'm just not gonna lie to you. It's not that good. So I want to see what y'all reasoning is. Why do y'all like it? And then just kind of tell me, if you could break down your top 5 shonen anime, if you could put that in the comments, we would definitely like to hear it.
And manga readers, let us know if there's something that we missing.
If we off, let us know. Please let me know something.
Let us know.
Let me know something.
If there's any context we missing, let us know. But y'all, we sorry we had to break down y'all favorite anime like that, man. We're sorry.
And if you want us to break down another anime, let us know. We'll watch it. We'll watch season 1 of it, or try to get through it, and we'll let you know about that one too.
That is going to be the end of today's video, you guys. We hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also, you guys share it with a friend. You know, we know y'all anime heads. Y'all got groups of people that watch
start
anime.
Debating over this.
Start debating. You know,
if you
share
want
the video.
to, put us on a TikTok clip and react. Say something crazy about it. We'll respond to it.
We'll respond.
We ain't gonna Kendrick Lamar you. We ain't gonna wait that long. You might get one today. You mess around. Well, go ahead.
Why can't you get to catch it straight?
That's gonna wrap up our episode. We'll see you guys next time.